The New York Times put out this video here called "Bad News: Democrats America is about to get even redder." Really curious to see what they have to say here.
Democrats, forget the last election. Winning future ones might be about to get even harder. And it's got nothing to do with the border or inflation or trans rights or Trump, and everything to do with the numbers on this spreadsheet. They reveal how many Americans pack up their things and move from one state to another. It's a lot, more than 7 million people in 2023. Now, my colleague Benjamin Applebaum, he writes about the economy for the New York Times. He went through this whole spreadsheet, scouring 2 decades worth of data, and he found something that should strike fear into every Democrat. Millions of people have moved out of California, New York, Illinois, and other blue states, and they're moving to Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, red ones. Some are drawn by new manufacturing jobs, others are pulled by finance and tech hubs. But it's mostly teachers, police officers, dentists, people who just want a more affordable quality of life. People also move to blue states, of course, but in smaller numbers. In fact, over the last 20 years, 9 million more people migrated from blue to red than in the other direction. And Democrats, this is bad news for you. Why?
I don't understand, because from everything I've seen, blue voters go from a blue state to a red state, they keep voting blue. That's why I think this idea that America's just going to suddenly turn red because blue state voters are moving to red states is a little bit ludicrous. I will say it's likely going to mean that we're going to see an inversion of the map at some point if this trend continues to happen. You got the Democrats going to red states, turning those states blue. Theoretically could happen, but because they've left those blue states and the Republicans remain, theoretically, then the states that were formerly blue end up becoming red, right? We could live to see a red California or a red New York if they keep on losing citizens. So on that front, maybe we could see a flip. It doesn't mean that, the whole country is going to turn red.
Because the size of a state's population determines how many electoral college votes it receives. The next national census takes place in 2030, and assuming the migration flows on this spreadsheet continue until then, look what happens. California loses 4 votes, New York loses 3, Illinois loses 2, and other blue states like Minnesota, Oregon, and Rhode Island all lose a vote.
So he's talking about electoral college votes. I was talking about the maps, but okay, so from this perspective, yeah, this makes a bit more sense.
And they go, just like the people, to those red states. In total, this reallocation could cost Democrats 12 electoral college votes, and don't forget, this would be locked in for a decade until the next census. So if your 2032 candidate wins exactly the same number of states as Kamala Harris just did, they won't get 226 votes, they'll only get 214. Democrats have been dreaming for decades that this population get 214.
The difference, 226 to 214, is not really a major difference. Now, if it continues to change, then yeah, it's a little dramatic, but it's 12 electoral college votes. It's not absurd. It's not a crazy difference. It does mean that close elections, though, will be against the Democrats' favor rather than in their favor, or at least most likely, I would presume.
Democrats have been dreaming for decades that these population shifts would help turn red states purple. Instead, Texas and Florida have simply become bigger red states.
Well, it's going to take a lot of immigration to truly turn those states purple. I think it can happen, but this immigration just has to continue happening at steady rates for it to happen. Rome wasn't built in a day, and a red state's not going to turn purple in a day either.
Now look, a lot could change before the next census in 5 years, but blue states are going to have to change first. People still want to live in California and New York, but the cost of living must come down. If the Democratic governors of these states want to avoid a decade of electoral oblivion, they have one job: make their states places people can afford to stay.
True. The best way to do that is raise taxes.